Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude BeyondMystic, and welcome to this deep woo-woo episode entitled Tarot Readings by Janine. You can find her work at Sending Ravens here on YouTube and also at Tarot by Janine. Please like, share, and subscribe. Janine, welcome back to the show.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Jean-Claude.
How's it going, Janine?
Good now. Well, I had a funny morning, but it's good.
You had a rough morning, you say. You want to expand on that a little bit?
Kind of funny. So I told the story on Catherine Edwards. So if you watched it already, forgive me, but I'll just tell you, everybody who's watching and Jean-Claude, I got up really abruptly at 5:55, and I noticed my phone said 5:55. So I thought that was interesting. And it was because there was this weird beeping sound, but it was like kind of sounded like an alarm, but not like your alarm clock or my phone alarm. It was like a series of three, and then it would do another series of three. It almost sounded like the beginning of an alert. That was my
like the Amber
alert or something. But so it was strange. So I looked around the house, and I'm half asleep, right? And I'm looking around. What the heck is that beeping? I was thinking maybe my smoke detector, something. So, but then I ended up in the kitchen, and the sound was coming from my stove, which I thought was weird because I hadn't set it at anything. And as far as I knew, there was no setting that would make a noise like that. So I just pushed the clock, the button up to get to your clock on the phone or on the stove, and it stopped. So I have no idea what that was about. And then, but I take everything as a sign. So I was like, okay, the first thing that came to my mind when I heard the sound was Amber Alert. So I'm thinking we're going to have an Amber Alert soon. Now, maybe that's just wishful thinking, but that's how my intuition works. It sends me signs. So then later in the, maybe an hour later, I spotted something under my couch. And not that I'm perfectly clean or anything, so things could be under my couch and I didn't know about it. But this particular time, we had just had the cleaners in. Every 2 weeks, I got some cleaners that come in, thank goodness. And I knew they don't leave anything undone. They're like brilliant. So I reach under, and it's a tarot card. And I have this little tiny deck. I call it my cafe deck. So lots of readers, they'll know what I'm talking about. This is the regular size deck, but these cards don't fit on some of the small counter spaces you would encounter out and about, like at a cafe or something, or on a bench or something. So you have your cafe deck that you go out, throw it in your purse, and you can use it. Anyway, so the cards are only like that big, one card. So one of the cards.
Do you want me to show it? You sent me an image this morning. Do you want me to show it on the screen?
Show it. Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
It's tiny, right? Anyway, so that card and that deck is not even, it's put away somewhere since I've moved. So I haven't even had it out. So I don't have a clue how that card got under my couch and just this, like I could see it. It wasn't so far under the couch. So it was kind of like the universe put it there. That's what I figure.
Okay.
The otherworldly beings put it there, whatever. I believe in stuff like that. You guys, kid you not, this happens to me my whole life, weird stuff, right? So I pull the card out, and I'm thinking like, that's my good warrior. So whenever I get that in readings, when we're talking about white hats and black hats, that's my good military. You guys, if you've been watching me for any amount of time here in the last couple of years, you'll know that's my good military. So I'm thinking, okay, Amber Alert sounds good military. Oh my goodness, something's going down here, and it's going to be sometime in December. And I'm hoping we're right about that. And I've been getting that in all the readings lately.
Wow.
So
okay.
Then I had I felt like I was taken. So sorry, I know it's a long one. I felt like I was taken, like my consciousness. So right after I see this card, it felt like I got taken and downloaded some stuff. I have no idea what the stuff was yet, but it'll probably just start coming out in my readings.
And that's what's funny about the story too, because this morning I usually just kind of like telepathically look into you, and it's kind of like turning off the TV or turning on the TV like a channel, and I see Janine. Oh, she's okay, she's doing well. We'll eventually chat today. We'll talk about her schedule, whatever it was. And this morning when I tuned into you, I'm like, I couldn't see you. I'm like, oh, she's all like foggy and far away. I'm like, what the fuck's happening? So I texted you. I'm like, is everything okay? Like, what's going on? And you're like, yeah, I don't feel like I'm in my body. I'm like, okay, because you're like not here either. It's kind of so weird.
And that was right after I found the card when you texted me. And I was like, I felt like I'd been taken somewhere energetically. And I just wasn't present. Yeah, it was so weird.
Wow.
Something's up.
Something's up too. And I know it's a long story, guys, and thank you for joining us here on this live interactive show. We just thought we'd share that with you, and I'll share a little bit for me too, because at 3 a.m. I also had this weird thing. I'm like, oh, I again, like a beeping sound in the house. I'm like, what is that? And I thought, oh, maybe it's the computer. Like, what's going on? And I was looking for it, and it was on this computer here, which, you know, I'm not in this part of the house usually at night, and it was ringing, and I realized it was Skype. And I'm like, I don't even have Skype, or I never use Skype, but somebody was calling me at 3 a.m. And I was like, okay, what the hell's going on? So I'm like, I don't even know this person. It's not in the contacts. How can you even call me? Like, Skype doesn't work like that. If it's not on, if it's not in your contacts, you shouldn't be getting that. Anyways, it was just so weird. And again, I was thinking too, like, okay, something was beeping at me. So I'm like, okay, now something was beeping at Janine. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, okay, what the hell's up in the field? And it brings us up to maybe the first topic for tonight. It feels to me, of course, you know, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've been doing media monitoring and analysis for a long time. And it feels to me here that in the last couple of days, maybe since last Friday, actually, the feel and the texture of the news media has changed. So yeah, you're still seeing the bad people and the bad words and all that, but something like the carrier wave or just the subtlety of it has just changed. I'm like, okay, what is that? It feels to me that it's not good for the bad guys. I'm not sure it's good for us yet, but what is that? What's happening, Janine, that's maybe skewing here or starting very slightly to shift the narrative in the media? Or even if it's just a carrier wave, it's not just the messaging or the words yet, but something's happening. Yeah, there's a bunch of people saying, yeah, you're right, JC, there's something weird going on in the news stream. What do you think is going on? Let's pull some cards here and get some clarity.
Okay. I got this a long time ago. This was going to happen, and I think it's slowly been happening, but even more than usual. So it's been taken out by this guy or Mr. T in the white hats or whatever.
Wow.
Okay, so taken out. So 3 of Swords. So they went down, you guys. And we've got the star in the middle, and it was likely some kind of this was in the past, so there was deals already made. So this was already agreed to that this was happening. Okay, but now it's officially down, as in taken over by the good guys. We knew it was being infiltrated, and they were already working some of their little, like from the edges you could see, but now it feels like it's literally, surrender. So we're going to see it like it won't just be like you're saying, just a feeling. It'll be super obvious, like in the days to come.
Well, that's interesting. So yeah, I don't know what it is. And I explain it as when you listen to Hot 89.9 or whatever your favorite channel is, there's different things, different songs all day, different announcers come up. But when you listen to that station, it feels like that station that you like. It has a certain feel to it. That's what I'm talking about here. Well, the feeling of the mainstream media just changed in my view. And I just was recalled today after I had this conversation with Janine. It's like, oh, Clef High a couple of weeks ago did a video called Tide Woo or Woo Tide. And he was explaining how there's that moment, that split second here of pause between the high tide and the low tide, or the ebb and the flow. And I think we're just there. We're in the pause, or we started finally going in the other direction. So that's very fascinating. Wow. Because something has to happen here, Jenny. We can't continue the way we're going now. So, wow. Yep. Okay, that's fascinating. All right. Man, quite a few more things. Okay, so let me start with a news article for today. And it was like this, Janine, this is devastating news. I mean, oh my God. If this were to happen and to continue, to me, it's like the end of the world. Canada here has to release its strategic maple syrup reserves here because of course I'm laughing. I can't pull this joke through for you guys, but of course, yes, there's shortages of maple syrup. Oh no, oh mon dieu. So I thought we'd laugh about you and I being Canadians.
Yeah.
Oh, what's going on? I mean, sure, there's COVID, but I mean, there's still trees and the sap is still flowing. Like, what's going on with this?
I'm not buying that. I'm
No?
not buying it. I'll tell you why. I was just at Costco recently, and that's where I always get my really good Canadian maple syrup. And it's still a really good price, and there was shelves of it. Like, I mean, so maybe it's all in Alberta. I don't know. You guys have to come to Alberta to get your maple syrup, which is funny.
I mean, we're right next to Quebec, and Quebec is one of the biggest world producers of maple syrup. So I'm like, what the hell is going on?
I'm not buying it.
Okay. Do we want
let's just for fun. Let's have a look.
Okay.
What's going on with the maple syrup story?
Gisela says, I love maple syrup. Yeah, I do too, man. I do a lot of cooking with maple syrup.
Yeah.
Cool recipes. Yeah. Especially on a nice smoked salmon. Oh.
Yeah. If you had nothing else in the house and you were going to be 3 or 4 days without food, you better have some maple syrup. It's full of nutrients.
Yeah.
Like the good stuff. You got to have the good stuff, right?
Yep.
Not the
Ruth says dry pancakes. Oh my God, that's a crisis. Never mind everything else that's happening in the world. My pancakes are dry, folks. Save the maple syrup. Yeah. Okay, we should start. Okay. Finish the book publishing. Tip jar, please. Okay, yes. Hold on. I'm having too much fun. I forgot to put the links.
It does look slightly like there might be a bit of a setback in maple syrup.
It does look okay. Well, I do have friends that produce maple syrup, and last year was a particularly bad year. They almost ended up not selling anything. They took the reserves, whatever they had for their families and all that. So there could be that also, but I don't know if it's also staffing. It doesn't really say in the article why there's a shortage. So I don't know if it's a staffing thing. People are sick, they're not showing up, or COVID, people stayed at home and didn't go to work. I'm not sure. But there is one, you're saying. Wow, okay.
Yeah. It has something to do with shortages and maybe a bad crop, like you said.
Wow.
This is temporary setbacks. But the good news is it's temporary.
Okay. Man. I always have bulk supply of maple syrup, by the way. Yeah. But I'm like, it still freaked me out this morning. I'm like, what? I gotta have my maple syrup with my oatmeal in the morning? Come on. Yeah. All right. Okay. Enough of the fun things, folks. So let me go.
Okay, I put maple syrup on my oats too.
Yeah, you too, huh? Oh my God. Okay. All right. Where do I go with this? Oh, okay. You and I talked about this maybe a couple of weeks ago, and we kind of laughed because at the time, was it the CDC? No, the FDA was saying, or I think it was the CDC also was asking 50 years to provide some of this data on some of these producers of some of these particular products. It's on the screen now. And here they're saying the FDA now, oh, no, we need 75 years to disclose fully all of these trials and the results of the trials and the ingredients and all of that stuff. 75 years, Janine. Do you remember? They said the same thing for Kennedy.
Unbelievable.
So that's how big this thing is. They need 75 years to let the public know what the F just really happened. So that tells me they're trying to hold off this information so that all the people who are responsible die a natural death before this information comes out so that they don't die a premature death. You guys understand what I'm saying? Let's pull the cards. Why 75 years? What's going on?
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Incredible. Oh, somebody was asking for the PayPal tip jar. Let me put that back on the screen there. There you go. Okay.
It's definitely a strategy of some kind. And then the Two of Pentacles is the near future outcome. So I don't think they're going to get that time, by the way. Like they're asking for that, but I have a feeling they're like everything's going to change anyway. So they're going to have to get more honest a lot quicker than that.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't think that's going to, but that right now that feels like just a way to be so they can cover up things. It gives them time to cover up things is what that looks like. So they're looking for time to get, because this guy's got all these things hidden under his cloak. and he's very devious if he's not well aspected. And this was between him and the queen. So I'm thinking they need more time, or that the idea is they just wanted time to spin it or cover ups, or does that make any sense?
It doesn't make sense. If they're just buying time, they're saying the 75, but it's a strategy maybe to buy more time, or it's like, yeah, I think, okay, in my mind right now, and I could be wrong, so you can pull cards on this, it feels like they already know that they have to come clean. And right now, they're trying to dissuade people from looking into the information to go away, to think, oh, they have to come back in 75 years, because they're going to start leaking it very shortly here. And they're trying to dissipate that wave maybe of anger, so that people just kind of like forget about it type of thing. Could that make sense?
Okay, well, that would make sense to that card.
Okay.
The strategy. So it's a strategy to buy them a little more time. Okay, to maybe even prepare. They think they might have time to prepare when the truth does come out really soon. Because it's literally just teetering on, like they can't keep it up too much longer. So it just feels like a strategy to just buy time to get to the next thing, disaster that happens for this bunch.
Well, speaking of disasters, now we're seeing the media spin a whole bunch of stuff. In Europe, they're kind of spinning because people are stressed out about COVID. We should stop talking about Nuremberg codes, and we should just eat those old archaic laws. Nobody needs those anymore, because it's stressing people out to even just talk about it, right? So you're like, are you effing kidding me? And now, of course, here in North America, this is on Zero Hedge this morning, this explosion and these new heart conditions is dismissed, because it's really just, all it is really post-pandemic or post-pandemic stress, right? So PTSD basically is what they're saying. Has nothing to do with anything else, guys. Don't look here. And so of course they're trying to normalize this, just as they're trying to normalize it for young children here. Yeah, they're all stressed all of a sudden. It has nothing to do with anything else, of course. I want to pull some cards on this here too. Are they looking at data? Do they know specifically here, the people in charge, okay, let me backtrack. If we go with the premise that this is a self-selecting euthanasia campaign, do they know specifically the number, and they know what's being about to hit now, and they're trying to cover the tracks before it starts to hit, so that they can escape maybe scrutiny by the media or angry family members? Is this what this particular thing is all about? Or is this another type of op that we can maybe glean from the cards here? Big yes. Yep.
Because they're expecting everything to just, it's all going to drop on the awareness of people like a ton of bricks. They can't help it. Like there's so much stuff piling up, evidence of what's going on. It's going to just drop like a ton of bricks on. It'll just explode in people's awareness finally. And then it shifts from everybody's fearful to now they're pissed at who did this and is encouraging us to even do this to our children. Yet I'm afraid like it'll be too late for a lot of people, unfortunately. That's unfortunate. But like I always say, though, I like to remind people, there's booby-trapped batches we're talking about. And then there's a whole bunch of people that won't be affected at all, even if they did that. Two of those things. Okay. But I feel like the more you get involved in it, so the boosters and whatever, the bigger risk you're taking of getting involved in the bad batches. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Think, Care, Believe says, JC, stop saying the C word. I didn't call anybody a C. Okay. I don't know what C. Oh, you mean C. Oh, the disease. Yeah, okay, so you and I talked about this on Monday, where we both have personal friends now who are dealing with the big C. All of a sudden was in remission, and in your case, in my case, it's brand new here on the radar. And I have a few other friends too who have direct family members and friends en masse here, apparently now suddenly dealing with the big C. What can we pull cards here to talk to the audience? Because I'm sure many people are in the same situation as you and I are. You and I are devastated. This is hitting us close to home also. And we keep saying to the audience members, like, guys, we're living this at the same time as you. So it's difficult for us to sometimes to talk about these subjects. What can we pull from the cards here to maybe talk to the people who are going to survive their friends, family members, loved ones here who are going away because of this big C here. What can we tell those guys? And tell ourselves, Janine, so we can take our own advice here, maybe.
Yeah. So there is vulnerability, and we're gonna lose some people with that one in the middle. You bet. We're gonna lose people. There's vulnerability. It's a lot less because of the work of the Alliance. I always get that. So I just want to mention that, okay? Because a lot of people get really mad. I get these angry emails that they're like, well, those guys are just as bad. They're lying to us, blah, blah, blah. But I'm thinking it's way more complicated. It's not that simple. When you're dealing with, something so embedded in the human psyche, and all you have to do is look around at how many people easily bend over for everything their governments are dishing out. Okay, they absolutely have to use psychological means to get these people to move over the other direction, or even at least prepare them for what they're going to know about their beloved governments and or higher ups in like Vatican type peoples or like religious leaders and all of these people that have been literally plotting against the human race, it looks like, and literally taken us out and enslaved us with the financial system. Like when that all comes to bear on these people that are, you know what I mean, bending over for all of this, right? I can see why they need to do it this way. So I get a lot of flack for that, but it's like, just use your noggin. Like we're dealing with something that's been embedded in the system, and it was created. A lot of the systems, school system, university system, they were created for the purpose of brainwashing. And I always knew that. School, I was like, none of this makes any sense. It's all a bunch of BS. It's just going to turn you into slaves. One of my favorite sayings was when I became a mother for the first time, I said, okay, my biggest fear is that my daughter might become a Christian. Sorry. I was born and raised Catholic, but I say that it was infiltrated or might have even been created. So I was afraid she'd get all religious on me, because a spiritual is individually finding yourself spiritually. That's where you got to go. So I always knew it was evil, organized religion. So I would make a joke and say, okay, I fear my daughter will get religious and or go to university, or both. That would be horrifying. And I used to say that, and that's true. Because I knew those institutions, both of them, were absolutely fraught with not goodness.
Yeah, I've been emotional here for the last couple of days with all of this. It's hard to deal with. I know, but at the same time, it's like, well, it's part of the war we're fighting. So, anyways, compassion, I guess, for everyone here, and we're all in this together, guys. Yeah. Okay, Laura or Marie Lagacia. Thank you both for all your hard work. Love what you do. Love you too. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. No question there. Laura, Fifield. Okay, I can't find 3 very special heirloom rings. Will I find them in my apartment or my storage unit, or did I, quote, lose them? Lost and found. I love these, actually. These are pretty cool to do. What do you think, Janine? Will she find them? Storage unit, apartment, or are they gone? 3 special, precious heirloom rings. Thank you, Laura.
Okay, they look like they took a little walk. So they're somewhere different than she thinks, because this is a new territory card. They're in new territory. So it's neither of those 2 territories she's talking about. So lost them is one possibility, right? Because that would put them in new territory. She's out somewhere, and somehow they drop out of her purse, or I don't know where she would have had them. So she's going to have to really think about that. We've got 2 5s, so temporary setbacks. So I don't actually get theft was involved. I get they got misplaced, but they're not in either of those places, because the where is new territory. So they're somewhere different than she would normally think they might be.
Okay.
Yeah, but the potential of finding them is pretty good because 2 5s mean 5s always get righted. They're temporary setbacks and they're really frustrating, but they're not major arcana cards, which would be like, okay, it looks like you'll never see them again. No, she might actually come across them again, and she might want to at a friend's house or a relative, a sibling, because these two were the clarifying cards. So this is siblings and people from the past who could feel like siblings, so or really good friends come to mind. And this card here is family members or in a family member home or a friend like this is, so maybe an old friend from the past family home. I mean, a couple of ways. If I had them in front of me, we'd go through it all. But so to get the person needs to think about some of those options.
Okay. Okay, well, good luck. I know it's frustrating when you lose something and you're like, where did I put them? Especially when it's something special to you. Speaking of something special to you, a lot of you have these beautiful special pyramids already in your possession. These are, of course, from Ascension Organites, the amazing Carla and her creations here. This is the pyramid we're giving away tonight for the PayPal tip jar. Let me play that right now, and let's see what Carla has to say about this pyramid that's called or named Chloe. This is it.
Hi everyone, this is Carla from Ascension Organites. Today I have the beautiful green Chloe. So Chloe is made of copper metals and citrine crystals. She also has the flower life in gold. So we've talked about citrine crystals before. It is a great stone for clearing and cleansing, getting rid of negative energies, getting rid of negative toxins. So an overall cleansing stone. You could place Chloe anywhere around your home. It doesn't have a set place. I'll give her a quick look. So the green to me is perfect for connecting with your heart chakra. And that is the intention of that I used when I made her. So yeah, I'll give her a quick turn around so you can see her again. Here she is. Hope you like her. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Carla. I appreciate that. What do you think about this one, Janine?
The name really works with the piece, and I love the idea of a heart chakra with the citrine being abundance. So and citrines, you never have to program them. They're always positive. So that's really fun. That's a really positive looking. It would just pump out the positivity in your place.
Wow, really cool. So guys, that is for the PayPal tip jar winner for tonight. On that note, Carla did send me an email update. All of the last pyramids for the last couple of weeks, they're all sent out. People have their pyramids already, but we're still missing one. And it was the winner of the pyramid named Emilia. And the winner was Karen Klein. Now, Karen, I've emailed you, and Carla has also emailed you using the same email you had used in your PayPal tip jar. So perhaps check that email if you don't always use it, or check the spam box folder. At any rate, if you don't find that email from us, please email me through the contact form on beyondmystic.net. Let us know that you're Karen Klein. We need your address so that we can mail you the Emilia pyramid from a couple of weeks back. So big thank you to you, Karen Klein. Hopefully we can get to you very soon. And for the rest of you, if you guys are looking for some pyramids also here, please check out Ascension Organites on Etsy. This is Carla's amazing link here. Don't forget to use the coupon code BeyondMystic to get an extra 10% off these amazing creations. And I can see here, wow, only one left. So make quick. You want these for your gifts here. Again, very, very busy, Carla, since she's been on the show. Absolutely phenomenal response for you guys. So thank you so much, everyone, for also supporting people on our show. Really, really appreciate that. So that's Ascension Organites here on Etsy. Coupon code BeyondMystic. Okay, I'm going to open up the chat to the Discord. Can't forget my folks here on the Insider Access Pass. Before I do that, let's go back to another news article here. This was, again, our silver guru, David Morgan, showing us here the US debt clock. So this is an automated thing that keeps track of all of the money printing versus the values of gold, silver, petroleum throughout maybe the last 100 years or so, I believe it is. And right now, the US debt clock is showing, based on the amount of money printed today, silver should be at $2,995 per ounce. That's interesting. Of course, we still have the $600 silver by Christmas prediction from Cliff High. We've pulled cards many times on that. And we've also pulled the fact that that's just a starter pistol, that eventually we could see parity with gold. And right now, the gold to paper dollar value is sitting at 20,000 per ounce. So this is the astronomical prices we're talking about it. And people will say, oh, come on, JC, you're crazy. $20,000 gold. I'm like, yeah, just a few years ago, people thought we were crazy on Bitcoin, and it's sitting at $50,000 today. So maybe think about that twice. So I want to ask you, Janine, are we still on target here? Let's keep polling there because we keep having questions on this $600 silver. Are we going to see that rapid movement that we keep seeing here very shortly that could bring us there almost instantly as soon as this starts to unravel? Is that still in the cards? Big yes. Wow.
I'm not even going to pull more cards. Yeah. So yes, it's got a real backed up in a lot of strength. So it's going to be used for a lot of things going forward. It's got a long-term value with that strength card. And that's a yes to the question itself.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And go ahead.
It's been repressed on purpose. We know that.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And what's interesting again too, for a lot of the naysayers who might be looking at this, they don't know where this is coming from. They're like, oh, this is crazy, blah, blah, blah. A couple of years ago, Cliff was really crazy too, because he was talking about 888. He was referring to Bitcoin passing 888 3 times on the upside, downside, three times. And then once it had done that pattern, it would catapult up to extreme levels, and it would never, ever come back to $800. Well, here we are sitting at 64. And at that time, when he said that, people thought he was absolutely out of his rockers that Bitcoin would even hit 888. So again, maybe the guy's crazy, but it doesn't mean he's wrong, right? So if you're looking at all the money printing and all the crazy things happening around the world right now, it could very well be that we're on track for this Christmas bonus, so to speak, in these conversations about generational wealth, which was also an adjacent data point in those robot reports. So guys, if you're looking for silver, please check out here beyondmystic.net. These are the silver discounts afforded to the Beyond Mystic audience. You can find that at beyondmystic.net/silver. For those of you who are looking for bulk, yes, there's 1,000-ounce bars, and they're going a lot faster than we thought. I'm really surprised. There's people looking here for big bulk silver, but of course, if you're a smaller like Janine and I, and you're looking for coins, there's also these amazing 2022, the new Royal Canadian Mint silver maple coins here on sale at $5.25 over spot, and that's cheaper than most of the competitors there. So great price if you want to check that out. beyondmystic.net/silver. All right, so I've got the Insider Access Pass open. I'm going to scan that very quickly. Let me go back here to the PayPal tip jar too. I think I had one from Lori. Okay, yes. I think this is good because I think a lot of people are feeling this right now too, and I want to use this maybe as a collective reading also for the rest of the audience. It says, hi, Janine. I feel so stuck right now in many areas of my life. How can I get motivated again? So I think this is a big theme for a lot of people with all the hardships here over the last 2 years. They're feeling kind of boxed in. They're feeling maybe a little bit of cabin fever, and they're trying to find that spark again to kind of like get going here. What can the cards tell them? Great question. Thank you, Lori.
So, her not seeing the next big thing to get involved in, or the next energy where to put her energy, it looks really natural. It looks like she needs to understand that's a natural, a lot of things are dying away, like things she won't be needing that she used to be involved in. A lot of the ways our daily routine looked before the original lockdown, and when we come out of this thing on the other side, after that Wheel of Fortune does a little flippy flip, because I know it will. Okay, so when we're coming out the other side, and it's a whole new world in a way. It's almost like we'll be on another planet. Okay, we did shift planets, but it's in our mind, right? Our mind. We're going to see the world differently. We're not looking at governments the same. We're not looking at the medical system the same. We're not looking at our religious leaders the same. We're not looking at, our supposed elites of Hollywood the same. Nothing's going to be the same, and a lot of people are going to be missing. Okay, which will really point out who was who, because that's going on, people. There's all this takedown in the background. Mm-hmm. And I just feel it. I just know it's happening. So right from the get-go, before I even knew what a secret, those, I can't say the word probably, but anyway, before I even knew about those things, Guy asked me about it and I was going in cold. And ever since that reading, I totally got the whole time that information was true then, and it's still true. It's going on.
Okay.
So all of a sudden we're going to enter a world with absolutely a whole different perspective. So she needs to wait and trust the process. The strength card tells me that she's got a lot of personal strength and she's been through a lot. This is like a trophy card. And this card's that feeling she's talking about where she's kind of blah and doesn't. This card, when it comes up well aspected, like it is with this one, it's not always it can be a spooky, scary kind of card or even a passing over card, but not with the question that was asked and not when it's well aspected with this card. So now it comes up as her archetype. So she's just not seeing. It's almost like you're in a fog or in the middle of the night, you can't see as well as in the day. So she's in kind of that fog because the world's changing. So everybody just needs to relax and let it get to where it's going to look, because everything you're watching is a big old movie and nothing's making sense. So don't try to make sense of it and it's not time to maybe launch forward with your new project until you know the lay of your new land. Okay, because then this is the outcome. So things are going to get very interesting. She'll all of a sudden get really inspired, hit the ground running, right? Yeah. But this is not the time. It's almost like a giant retrogrades can feel like this if you know astrology, and so can void of course moon. It feels like a big void of course. In other words, we lose our footing because our new landscape won't look anything like this. So it's all going to be new. So trying to figure it out right now, just have a mantra when you're feeling that way that says, right now, I feel like I'm not seeing it, but I know and I trust myself. Myself will guide me and my footing will get really sure again, and I'll know exactly. And the universe will send me the sign. That's always what I say. I'll get a sign, and just keep saying that until you get a sign. Just assume you will.
Well, that's very interesting. You just mentioned a void of course here. And I think for humans, they're in void of course right now too, because everything is obfuscated by them. And in astrology, we often say that in this VOC period, you don't initialize anything. It's an introspection. You take stock, you prepare yourself, you master your energy. And then suddenly when it's no longer void of course, you can implement and take actions here. So great advice, Janine, and for everybody also watching the show here, that's absolutely cool. Okay, in the Insider Access Pass, there's a couple of questions. One is from Quantum Life Transformation, and the other one from Russell Edwards. They're both kind of alluding to the same thing here of Veritasium. Now, you and I have pulled cards on Reggie Middleton and Veritasium before. There's a Webbot prediction that at some point, even though Veritasium was crushed by the Securities and Exchange Commission, that eventually, after all of this breaks, the government would come back hat in hand to have Reggie and his inventions in DeFi maybe save the day here. So you had pulled cards on that, and you said, yeah, actually, that sounds right, and that might have been already ongoing a couple of months the last time you pulled that. Now, what the questioners are asking now is this. He has some patents on DeFi. And so what we're trying to figure out here is, regardless of the government coming back and asking him to use Veritasium to maybe rebuild our economy or the new natural economy that we're going to use, the open source economy, will Reggie also and Veritasium come back or have this Wheel of Fortune reversal simply by the fact that he's got patents on a lot of stuff that people are using right now, and he has royalties to that. So will that also increase the value of Veritasium here in the very near future? So I'm summarizing here from all of these questions in the Insider Access Pass.
Yeah, he does have a lot of things sort of piling up to his advantage. And he's really done his research or homework in the background, because this card's working away. So in the future, they have all kinds of excess. And it's a really good earning card. So I'm not exactly sure what you're asking there. So
it's a little technical, but that's fine. I think they'll understand here that the Veritasium horse here in the race is absolutely not dead, is what you're saying here.
No, not at all. This is the outcome of it, which is like it's a very lucrative project. If it is a project. And then this it's like a karma card. So I feel like some kind of maybe wrong will be righted, because this card brings us to balance, and things go forward as a booming business, certainly with this guy or for this guy. So I don't know if that answers the question.
Yeah.
There's a lot of wealth in this card, and it goes forward in a very abundant way. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm looking for this another news articles a couple of days ago. And it's funny, just as this is coming into the field here, let me bring this one here. Yeah, it was on my Twitter. I had this a couple of days ago. The Bank of International Settlements, of course, the banks of all the central banks, is putting out this call and trying to maybe dissuade the normies here. And they're telling them, oh, this rise of DeFi, decentralized finances here, is an illusion. It's fear-mongering. It's devastating to the stability of our economy. And I, of course, was laughing. Of course, that's what they would say, because it completely destroys the central banking warfare model. So yeah, there's a lot here in DeFi, guys. If you don't know about Veritasium, you don't know about DeFi, now's the time to educate yourself, because we are moving that way, whether you want to or not. This is where we're going. And if you're looking for more information on this type of stuff, please check out the last Beyond Crypto Woo here. Janine and I just produced a week and a half ago. This is the look into December here. And we're looking at and tracking quite a few coins and also news articles here to kind of give you the lay of the land as to why things are about to happen here. And maybe just quickly here, talk about this rapid tower card moment that you were seeing over and over again here as we were talking about the financial system. Give the audience here just a quick breakdown of what that looks like for December.
Yeah. So in several readings I've done in the last few days, I'd even say 4 readings on the Tarot by Janine channel, every one of them was looking in some way at the events of December in a way. You could say that, right? So it felt like the tower was going to have something to do with the financial system and really affect our daily routines, work and daily routines, things that we daily use and utilize. But it also could disrupt things around health or give us a shocking revelation around situations around health, because it was the 6th house that it showed up in a couple of different readings. So the 6th house, if you're an astrologer or you dabble in it, is the house of Virgo. So health related issues about our physical body. So having a revelation maybe about what's really been going on and how truly our health is being used as a fear mongerer. Okay. I don't know how else to say it. Right. And the health system, or what's called the health, I wouldn't even call it that, is going to show itself to be actually the enemy right at this point. Okay. As far as I'm concerned. So I feel like that's part of it, but then the money system, because it's also about your daily routines and how you earn money and your daily going about your daily business. So that's obviously spending and earning money. Okay. So the tower was there. And then I also did a layout specifically on the financial system, and the tower showed up again. So there's going to be a huge restructuring of it, but it felt like the fall comes in this month and then something quickly comes up to replace it. I've been talking about that for a really long time.
Right.
And then the tower was also tied to Mr. T receded somehow, or at least the shadow, what I've been calling the shadow government, which is likely kind of a military, kind of our White Hats Alliance group, or a group associated with that bunch. Okay, kind of coming out of the shadows in all of these areas. And all of that's going to also feels tied in with the financial system. So there's big changes in those areas, and it'll change the whole scenario we're looking at right now.
Yeah, and that reversal card of the Wheel of Fortune too. It looks like some of these bad guys here are about to be taken to the cleaners, so to speak.
Yeah.
Speaking of being taken to the cleaners, you have some amazing soaps here at sendingravens.com. Tell us about all of these amazing products, Janine. We always forget to talk about them.
Yeah,
What's going on here with sendingravens.com?
Yeah, we kept it real simple on the web page, but it's all made by this woman. Like I became friends with her many years ago. Okay, because I went into her shop, which was just down the street from the New Age books. It's called The Beehive. She's been there for years, and she's been working on creating products all natural for bath and body. And she's been doing this for like 30 plus years, could even be 38 years or something now, years and years. So she's developed these ways in a really safe way, of course, without harming animals or using harmful products for your body. Like it's all like you could practically eat her stuff. Okay. Right. And some of it smells good enough to eat. Okay. So her and I decided, because we just instantly, it was like sisters from another lifetime. Like you and I feel like brother and sister. She felt like a sister for sure. And just absolute instant bond. So I knew she was a magical woman, and her work was magical. She puts such love and intention into her work, and I could tell. Also, she's a perfectionist at her craft. So her stuff is beautiful. If anybody wants to comment who's bought it from the website, let me know, because I get nothing but raves.
Yeah.
So anyway, we developed these together, the Sending Ravens. It's all her work, but we decided on ingredients, various different scents, in particular, high in patchouli, sandalwood, ylang, all the scents I love, and she loves them too. So they're definitely really scenty. So absolutely, it's all essential oils, really high quality, and lots of honey. In anything she could put honey, she puts her own honey from her honeybees.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So she just uses really good, and I love bathing products. So we called them according to, so there's one that calls romance, and we called it romance. That's sandalwood and orange, I believe. And it's absolutely spectacular. And then there's an intuition. So if you're trying to heighten your intuition, or you have the intention. So we chose the names of them and put the intention into her thing is she puts intention into everything she does. She makes it all, and she intends over the work.
Wow, that's really cool.
So
I'm here now. I'm seeing the romance option here. These are really great prices.
Abundance, intuition, clearing. If you want to clear energy, so it's got sage and probably like I forget. There's all kind, like there's one with pine, I think. Clarity and clearing.
And for the audience members who might want to buy this before Christmas, do you still have time now, given that we're December 8th, to ship this before Christmas?
You might want to get on it if you're in Canada or some places in the US. You could probably still get it there.
Okay,
but it's not, obviously you want to get right on that, right? Because I would say you're counting down. You might have another day or two, or you're cutting it too close.
Okay.
But I mean, in the season, you could get it within December, probably by the end of December. But it seems to be taking a couple of weeks.
Okay.
To get to the various U.S. and Canada destinations. And we can't send it outside of the U.S. and Canada, as far as I know. She's not taking orders outside of the U.S. and Canada, just for practical reasons, because it's so hard to get it through the mail there.
Deborah Waters is asking, what's the site name? Sendingravens.com. I have the link now here in the live chat. And Something Finished Book Publishing says, absolutely, highly recommended. Yeah. So here's the link again, sendingravens.com. And as soon as the show is over too, we hadn't planned this, I'll put this in the description box below, and also we'll pin it to the top of the comments after the show for you guys as well. Wow. Really cool, Janine. I love what we're doing here, supporting people, bringing new people, new talent, new products, and especially in this new organic human economy, and being able to participate in that is absolutely amazing. Okay, let's take a little jab at our best friends here at CNN. Of course, here the news is coming out that our friend Don Lemon might have tipped off, allegedly, of course, Jesse Smollett here during the police. Anyways, I don't want to get into all the keywords there, but that's interesting that all of this is coming out. Of course, Cuomo now is saying that Zucker was involved in all of these shenanigans. Now we're seeing reporters involved in this. It's a free-for-all show. Let's pull some cards and see. Get an update here on the downfall of what Bo Polney yesterday on my show called the mouthpiece for the devil. So, yeah. Let's get an update on the downfall. What's going on with these guys?
Oh, it's going to be so fun to watch. I'm just so enjoying all the stories.
I know, it's like, I could take a little jab here and there. I'm having so much fun.
There is nothing more fun than watching those guys going down. And they're going down. Because this who's in charge, just CNN.
Wow.
Mr.
That's
T
why we've changed.
People working with them. Yeah, and this is CNN. Those people we're all talking about. They're sad and blue. Sorry, but that's a lot of fun. Okay, what happened in the past that got them here? So some kind of big victory for these guys. So they took them down. Like we've been telling them, take them down, take them down. Guess what? They did. And we're going to start seeing it in no uncertain terms. I'm pretty sure that's, you bet. You're going to start. They got a new boss. Okay. That's what I've been saying this, and it's finally come. They got a new boss, and they might just do it like a tide. Like you were saying, like it may not be.
I think slowly at first, and then all of a sudden.
Yeah. You're going to see a change in the narrative. We've been seeing it, but it'll all of a sudden get really obvious, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it's gonna take about 10 days, and I think you'll see them there by the 10th day. There's even the normies are going to know something going on there.
Well, there's a lot of normies who watch Joe Rogan, Joe Rogan experience, and here he's blasting CNN as being effing propagandists. I mean, tell us, Joe, what you really mean. So a lot of people are waking up like, what? Why is Joe so angry all of a sudden? And of course, Joe was bitch slapping Sanjay Gupta on some of the products there maybe 2 months ago. Cliff was reporting or had predicted this whole media, what do you call it? A casualty. And of course, that's a big casualty. That's for sure. So for all those people out there, like, nothing's really happening. No.
We're going to see more and more of the dysfunction of the various people. Like all the dirty laundry is going to come out. Yeah. And how they're connected to, like, literally that deep state card. They're just puppets for those guys. Or like the devil, like you said.
A bunch of people in the chat are like, popcorn. Yeah, it's popcorn time. There's a lot of fun there. Lots of entertainment to watch. Okay, let me go back to the Insider Access Pass. There was a good question, and then I'll come back to China with the Evergrande. You and I kind of touched on this on last week, but there's developments here, and I want to get an update on that. Before I do that, Sandra B from the Insider Access Pass, she says, question for the Janine: did Maxwell and Epstein have a baby? And if so, still alive? I've never heard that before. That's an interesting.
Interesting, because what we got about Maxwell could render that question not possible.
Right.
But let's have a look.
Yep.
Because don't forget, like this bunch, they don't have those maternal instincts towards having babies. And are you kidding? You know, unless they want to use them or ship them around to their friends. It's horrifying. These guys are not normal family people. Okay, so that sounds like that's an interesting story. I mean, even when you look at every picture where Ghislaine, or however you say her name, Jesline or Ghislaine or whatever, when she's cozying up to him, he looks like almost like he's like the body language is he's never leaning into her. Okay. She's obviously obsessed with him. Like if I read people's movements, and every picture I've ever seen of her cozying up to him, she's obsessed with him. He's almost repelled by her because of course he likes the, 12 and under.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
All right. So let's get a quick read. Like, did they have a baby? I mean, the question wasn't clear. Like, did they have a baby? Did they have in vitro? Did they have, oh boy. Okay.
So that might have been something she wanted because we've got this. So I feel like this is probably because they came from, or she did for sure, one of those culty families where they invert their children. We got that. So you guys will have to go watch our deep dive on her in our uncensored version, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, because it was in the past. So that tells me we were probably right about what we got there. Mm-hmm. Okay. So no, she couldn't because was a he originally. And then now we've got this and this. So it might have been something they wanted, like, or one of them wanted, but the other one was against it maybe. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I would say that was her because I think she was obsessed with him. Okay. And this judgment card here, but I think with the judgment card, that's a wake-up call. Obviously, things got out of hand before anything like that. So they might have been talking about it, and one was for it and one was against it. And then remember, a long time ago, he already got into some big legal trouble. Of course, he just got a slap on the wrist that first time. And then, so I think the legal trouble started. So that rumor might have still been out there that they want that. Okay, he definitely believed that he was her soulmate. And when you look at the pictures of them and everything about their whole situation, she would do anything for that guy. And he was just a little slimy guy. You could tell he had literally she's convenient for him, but he doesn't have any interest. You just have to look at them.
Okay, now I need to take another salt bath tonight. All right, let's go to our PayPal tip jar. Lisa Borland, are the Oregon? Oh, hold on. Can you guys see that? Yes. Okay. Are the Oregon earthquakes dumbs and the white hats? Oh yeah. Okay. So are they clearing dumbs perhaps in Oregon right now? What's happening with the earthquakes? Thank you and God bless. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. Okay, let's take a read on that one. Let's take a pulse.
Okay. So I just want to say one more thing about back there.
Scorpio, no, stop, Janine.
Scorpio moons love stuff like that. It's like you want some schmarm on somebody, you just talk to a Scorpio moon.
You just love giving it back after having it done to you for so long. Yeah.
I beat up Meghan Markle and Harry for two and a half years.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, I loved it. I had to quit because nobody wanted to hear it anymore.
Okay. Well, we might come back to Ghislaine Maxwell. A lot of people are saying I don't want to say what the other people are saying in the chat, but yeah, okay. We're having too much fun. We're having too much fun, guys. Okay. Wait, what was my question? It was from Lisa Borland. Oh yeah, earthquakes in Oregon, dumbs and white hats. What's going on? Or is there something else? Is it just natural, or is there something else going on there?
Okay, let's have a look.
And guys, while she's pulling cards, I want to remember you, if you're just joining us now, tonight, the PayPal tip jar donators, one of you lucky winners will obtain this amazing pyramid by Ascension Organites. The name of the pyramid is Chloe, and it's a heart chakra pyramid, heart healing with citrine. Absolutely amazing stuff. A big thank you to all of you PayPal tip jar donators. And again, the winner from a couple of weeks ago that we're still looking for, if you're just tuning in now, Catherine Klein, please email me. You won a pyramid a couple of weeks ago, and we're trying to find your mailing address. Okay, Janine, back to you.
I think it must be cleaning out some areas here because we've got the good military involved somehow, and maybe even some off-world, maybe even equipment or technology. And we've got this is a worker. This guy's a worker, so they were working on something that involved the good military, which is one aspect of, I think, the white hats, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're all those upper level. I think they have all kinds of people working with them that they probably recruited over the years, what they now call the white hats.
Okay.
So yeah, it looks like it's they're doing it as a work project. So I feel like that must be the cleaning out.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. All right. Interesting. There's a lot going on, man. Holy crap. very hard to follow all of this stuff when you think about it. And Janine and I are sometimes overwhelmed. And of course, here now in the live chat tonight, we're about 8,000 between the two channels there. Like, wow, thank you so much, everyone, for participating and leaving your comments and questions. Of course, we can't do all the questions. We do our very best. And this is why we give back on the tip jar during the night and give these amazing pyramids back to you guys. Because again, we can't possibly get to all of the questions. Lakeside Laura in the Insider Access Pass, was I visited by a spirit when I was in the hospital at the age of 3? Interesting number. So Laura, age of 3, was I visited by a spirit when I was in the hospital?
Yep. Yeah, and this I don't get spirit I actually get maybe a very unique off-worlder again here. So this is exotic card, or possibly a non-human energy, but a very loving. So she might have mistakes that as a spirit, or I think a lot of people are mistaking off-worlders as spirit guides, and like I don't think things are what exactly like we think they are in the spirit world. I think we're going to have to really rethink how, like, some loving energy visited her, but I don't get it as like an angel or I get it more unique than that.
Oh, wow.
So something like,
there she is, Alexandra. Yeah.
Something definitely and it was loving, and it's visited her before since she was very, very little. So
I think we've pulled cards on this, or similar to. She's got a lot of weird shit happening to her. Wow. That's
she absolutely is guided by that energy. So when she needs guidance, that energy's there for her.
Okay.
Lickety split, I want to say.
Wow.
I know I'm using all these corny sayings today.
What's up with you, Janine? Like, something happened to you. Somebody pulled you away yesterday and you came back different. What's going on? I didn't write I love it, and I love you. So thank you for being here, Janine. And you're getting a lot of love in the chat too. Everybody's happy today. We're all feeling giddy. Oh, yes. Okay, Jason, Evergrande. Yes, I'll be back to Evergrande in a second. But quite a few people are asking about we'll do a little bit of overtime here, Janine. We have at least 2 things to look at before we go. Lisa's asking, JC, can you ask Janine about the new rules in New Brunswick? So this was announced a couple of days ago. They have this new action plan here for, I guess, their winter action plan, what it's called, for the CV19. What's going on? Why are they so gung-ho? Similar to what we're seeing in Europe right now. We saw Merkel starting to lock down on people who didn't get the thing. And we're seeing like an encroachment again on some of these weird mandates and restrictions, all of that. So what's happening specifically in New Brunswick? What can the cards pull here?
Okay, 5. And so they're pressuring. So you're being pressured to do something, stand up against it. Like, absolutely, like, you know what's really interesting? Like, how can the government stand and say those things if a majority doesn't want any of that? Okay, so people have to stand up. So if you're feeling like this is not right, you have to stand up and start petitioning people. And this is a push to stop letting these. They're not even real. It's not even real. This is what's so fascinating. Everybody just needs to start going, no way. So they're putting the pressure on. They're doing exactly what they did in Australia. Okay, and it feels like it's going to come to where you will see more people going, no way, this is absurd. This is absurd. Everybody get your absurd t-shirts on and go walking around like it looks like to me just that they're pushing on everybody. I honestly think it's the shadow government puppeting these guys. That's what it looks like.
You know what would be really, really cool, Janine?
I'm gonna call them.
Keep going. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's all good.
You're good? Okay. You know what would be really cool as you were talking? Like, can you imagine just a normal Canadian, paying attention to the news, going to one of these press conferences where Trudeau is explaining something, and somebody stand up and the camera would capture them and it would say, "Oh, come on. Janine says that's absurd, Trudeau." Like, if you guys do that clip, man, I'll put it on the show. Like, that would be absolutely hilarious.
It is. Yeah. It looks like it's trying to get you to go, whoa, these guys are demonic. Who's in charge? What are they doing? Makes no sense. None of it makes sense.
It's absurd.
Just part of the thing. And don't forget that this month I'm really thinking we got a big flip around. So that's something we all got to visualize and believe could happen.
Is it possible that I'll ask you for a quick read, but is it possible that the CCP has maybe more of a foothold or still some power in New Brunswick? Can we get a yes or no there? Is that involved there as to why we're seeing maybe more pressure there than other places in Canada? We've had rumors of that, so that's why I was asking here.
No, they're like wheezing their last breaths. So maybe they did.
Okay.
Maybe they did, but they're like on the way out.
Okay.
No, this is a white hat op, you guys. Sorry.
Okay.
I know we can get mad at those guys later, but
yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking they're working what I've been saying they're doing. That's what they're doing, it looks like.
Okay. Evergrande. So rumors, you and I pulled cards on this on Monday. It appears that they actually did go under, even though on Friday it was announced that they were on the verge of going under and possibly the Chinese Communist Party taking over now Evergrande and positioning and fortifying the homeland here in the expectation here of having to default, of course, on foreign investors, which would create a shockwave here in the financial system. That kind of is in line with everything that Janine and I is talking about. So can we take a pulse on that right now to see if, in fact, China is taking moves to fortify themselves to eventually, maybe perhaps very soon here, announce that they're defaulting on these foreign investors? And is that going to be a trigger here to some of these big sweeping reversals of fortune here very soon? Wow.
Yep.
Yes. Wow.
That's exactly what they're up to.
Wow.
They're putting all kinds of things in place, and a big yes to the actual question you asked.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just strategically, and here's what they're doing amongst themselves. So this is an abundance card. And so they're working with trying to keep the financial abundance sort of in them and their close people. Because this card is partnerships, close partnerships.
Okay. Well, folks, again, man, if you haven't taken your positions, Bo Ponley was saying yesterday too, if you're on the fence, yeah, you might be okay. But everybody who are seeing, or as Janine was saying last year too, there was a common denominator of people who have the huge wheel of fortune turn in their favor, and they had already started taking actions either in gold, silver, or crypto. And so if you're still on the fence, yeah, there's programs in place to help you out, I think, and there's good guys here trying to make a softer landing through all of this. But if you really want to get a heads up on all of this, maybe take responsibility for yourself and get off the fence if you can, when you can. But educate yourself, I think, is the message here that we can share for you guys. Okay, we're an hour 6 into this. Janine, maybe last cards of wisdoms. You and I are not going to see each other. Well, you and I are late. We were supposed to record this Medbed show 2 days ago. We lost power. We might record it tonight if we're not too long in the tooth here. If not, it'll be coming tomorrow. So guys, stop emailing me. I know I'm a few days late here. We're just struggling with our schedule and our personal energies. Of course, Janine and I, as we said, we were struggling with some of the news here in our families in the last couple of days, and it's been hard for us too. So we'll eventually get to this one, and we'll be recording again this weekend, and another pay-per-view on top of that. But in the meantime, can we give the folks maybe some hope here in the next couple of days? What does universe want to tell them?
So that's a watchful card, and waiting, watching, and you become enlightened through waiting and watching. So something you've been waiting and watching for looks like is about to happen, because this is the next card. So we've been waiting for action. Action comes. We're about to get some action, what we've been wishing for. So we've been waiting and it'll be worth it. The wait. So what I'm getting from this is the wait will be worth it. This guy becomes enlightened through putting himself in a hard position. We've been all the truthers and the knowers and the intuitives and all of the wonderful digital soldiers and everybody watching videos like this. We've put ourselves in a really hard position. We've been booted out of family gatherings. We've been booted out of public gathering places in a lot of countries.
Yeah.
I haven't gone out of the house barely in weeks, except to go grocery shopping. And that's even getting some threatening energy in Canada, right? What's happening in the east of Canada could trickle down here to the west. You know what I mean? So I'd have to send somebody to get my groceries or have them delivered. Like, that's absurd.
Are you kidding? That's absurd. Finish the book publishing is saying that.
Sorry.
Yeah, we need to make those t-shirts, man. It would be so fun.
It's all going to be worth it, is what I'm saying. Because we saved our world, you guys.
Yeah.
We helped save the world. Like who else could say that? We helped save the world. Like seriously?
That's utterly absurd.
I'm proud of that.
Yeah, me too. Okay, I love it. Speaking of in the next couple of days, you and I and Julie have decided to make this episode public here. It will be premiering. I said live the other day. I got that wrong because we've already recorded it to tape, but it will be premiering on December the 11th. And of course, this is a big critical date also astrologically. And Janine, Julie, and I will come back maybe a day or two after this particular show to do a follow-up on that. Please, guys, don't miss this episode. Absolutely fabulous. Janine and I have been quite in a tailspin in the last couple of days also, kind of decoding everything that came out of this episodes 2 here. All the connections are absolutely amazing and also timely in everything that's happening now, to have this amazing astrologer, Julie from Maison Jupiter, joining us here on Beyond Mystic and also on Sending Ravens. Absolutely amazing. We're really proud of that. Janine, any last words on this episode here before we go? What can you recommend to the audience as to why they should not miss it when it comes to the premiere?
Oh, we got into some really deep woo. And if you're the type who likes to really understand kind of how astrology works, and especially how it would manifest in Jean-Claude and myself and this woman, and how past lives intertangle, and how you can really spot what's been going on in past lives when you meet new people, and how astrology can really help. I mean, I think it's a really eye-opener.
Yeah. Really cool. I'm looking forward to sharing it. Of course, there's some personal stuff in there. Janine and I were a little emotional. We had a few tears during the show. So anyways, don't be too hard on us. It wasn't originally supposed to be a public episode, but we all decided there was a lot of healing in there. Yeah. And we thought that the audience would benefit from seeing this show. So there you go. December 11th for you guys. And we'll be a few days late here in some of our pay-per-views, but we'll eventually get back to that, Janine and I, as we kind of reconstitute our ourselves here after dealing with some tough news with her friends and family here for the last couple of days. All right, guys, please remember to like, share, and subscribe here at Tarot by Janine, and also here at Sending Ravens. We're trying to bump up these numbers for Janine to match the other one here. So please hit that subscribe button. And also, while you're there, this weekend, if you're looking for some amazing soaps, oils, bath products, really cool scented stuff, chakra related, of course, and high energy, please check that out at sendingravens.com is the sales website. And of course, this was Tarot Reading by Janine. I'm Jean-Claude at Beyond Mystic. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I love you guys. Have a great night. We'll see you soon. Au revoir.
Au revoir.